We have some breaking news and unfortunately some sad news to report in the gaming industry. We just got wind of the fact that Microsoft has laid off some employees in Activision and on the Microsoft division, as reported on The Verge today. As you can see here, Microsoft lays off 1,900 Activision, Blizzard, and Xbox employees. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard and Xbox this week, while Microsoft is primarily laying off roles at Activision Blizzard. Some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will also be impacted by the cuts. First of all, Godspeed to all the people that have been affected by this layoff. As someone who has gone through this myself during my career, I can say that it's never easy losing a job, especially one that you love and enjoy doing. And I'm sure the majority of the people that have been impacted by this loved what they were doing. And that my heart goes to them. Godspeed. I hope, I have no doubt that hopefully all of them will land on their feet. And for all of the other studios out there, I couldn't think of a more talented pool of people to reach out to and try to get them employed again. So if you're in the gaming industry and are looking for intelligent and good people, I'm sure these people would love to hear from you. But I do want to get into the nitty gritty of all of this and dive in a little bit deeper on what the impact is going to be. Because I've already gotten a lot of comments about, obviously, what this means for Diablo 4. So I want to talk about that a little bit later. But I do want to go into a little bit more about what the article that was published today on The Verge goes into. So let's get back at the article. So the cuts work out to roughly 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division. That stands at around 22,000 people in total. The Verge has obtained an internal memo from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer that confirms the layoffs. I'm not going to read it all, but basically Phil goes into why it was done and all this. Now, I think it's only been 3 months, a couple of months since the acquisition of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard King. So it hasn't taken too long for them to make this kind of move. Now, having said that, this is not an anomaly. You know, there's been a lot of layoffs in the tech industry, and also it's impacting the gaming industry as well. For example, Twitch has had layoffs. Discord has had layoffs. You know, I can go on and on. So this is not an outlier. This is the time that we live in right now. Economies are not thriving. Inflation is hitting everybody's pocket. Obviously, companies are not immune to that either. The cost of living, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, companies are not immune to doing this. The impact of what is happening in the world today. And, you know, sounds like they're just realigning everything and cutting costs like a lot of other companies. At the end of the day, that doesn't make the impact on these people's lives any easier. So again, Godspeed to all of them. I hope they all land on their feet. I hope they all, because I'm sure the majority of them all rely on their jobs to put food on the table, to live. So that's the most important thing. Hopefully all of them can, find new jobs and move on with their careers. Out of this announcement was also the fact that Mike Ibarra from the Blizzard president, has decided to leave the company as well. And, Mike, don't know the guy, but from everything I've seen throughout my time following Activision Blizzard King, seems like a really nice guy. He went above and beyond trying to be like one of the guys, and I applaud him for that. And he's got a long-standing career, not only an Activision Blizzard King, but I believe he also spent 20 years at Microsoft. So he went on Twitter and thanked everybody. Looks like a class act guy, and really you could see put his heart into this tweet on X, and you can tell just the kind of guy he was just by the amount of people that have looked at this and the amount of comments he's received. He's a well-respected person in the industry. So apparently he wants to spend more time with his family and travel. And I know that's typically what is said when something of a person of this position is leaving the company. I guess in time we'll find out whether or not this is what really is happening and it was his decision. But only time will tell. Again, Godspeed to Mike. And if what he really wants to do is spend time travel with his family, then I couldn't think of a better thing to be doing. So good on him if that's what he wanted, and Godspeed to him as well. So Mike Ibarra, president of Activision Blizzard King, also decided to leave. And we also have on the Verge article an internal memo by Matt Booty. And if you don't know who Matt Booty is the head of Microsoft Studios. So obviously he's overseeing Activision Blizzard King as well in that capacity. So he sent a internal memo, which the Verge article has and posted with the article. So this is what the internal memo said to the affected, to all the Activision Blizzard King employees. As you may have read in Phil's note, today is a challenging day as we say goodbye to some of our colleagues. This is a difficult process, but it is one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. We are moving forward with a more focused strategy across Microsoft Gaming that sets us up for sustainable growth and aligns our talent and resources to our top priorities. In addition to the events today, Mike Ibarra and I have been discussing his future and some of his personal passion for some time. As many of you know, Mike previously spent more than 20 years at Microsoft. Oh, there you go. So I was right. Now that he has seen the acquisition through as Blizzard president, he has decided to leave the company. As we move forward, we will continue to build on the positive momentum that Mike created and strive to continue exceeding the expectations of Blizzard players. I want to thank Mike for his leadership and for his partnership and counsel since the deal closed. I know he plans to travel and spend more time with his family while we wish him the very best. Additionally, Alan Adham, Blizzard's chief design officer, is leaving the company. Wow. As one of Blizzard's co-founders, Alan has had a broad impact on all the Blizzard games. His influence will be felt for years to come, both directly and indirectly, as Alan plans to continuing mentoring young designers across the industry. So two big figureheads at Activision Blizzard King are leaving the company. Wow. The new Blizzard president will be announced next week. So that's the news for today. I wanted to do a video on this because I was getting inundated with questions about how I felt this was going to impact Diablo 4, the game. But before I go there again, I think that's of low importance. These kind of decisions made by big companies impact everyone that has been affected by this decision. And my heart goes out again to the people that are impacted by this layoff, by this decision made by Microsoft. And Godspeed to all of them, and I hope they all land on their feet. Now, let's get to the stuff that everyone's asking me about. So 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard Now, 1900, and if you say there's 9,000, 10,000 employees, I believe it's only 9,000. That's 20 plus percent of their workforce gone today. That's a big chunk, And wow. But you know what? This is the norm today with companies, aligning their priorities and getting their bottom line straightened out. So, um, what does this mean for Diablo for the game? A lot of people are saying about time, this is going to mean a good thing. A lot of people have said to me that, I don't know, this doesn't make me confident about the viability of, Diablo 4 getting fixed in the near future. First of all, I don't think now is the time to think about stuff like that. Like, I really, when I read this and decided to make this video, the only thing that is like dominating my thought process is these poor people that have lost the jobs that they love. And you have no idea until you go through it how difficult it is. First of all, your ego is shot. And then second of all, you kick into survival mode and you're trying to say, okay, how can I and depending on your situation, some people are smart and they plan for stuff like this. So they have, they plan and have a safety net. So it allows them to be able to have 3 or 6 months. Now, I would imagine Microsoft has obviously followed the employment rules, and everyone has their, you get a compensation package, at least in the country that I reside in. There are rules around that. I would imagine it's the same in the US. So they have that buffer. But my point is now they're going to kick in survival mode and try to get the next gig. So my prayers are with them, and I hope that they all land on their feet and they're better off for it. Now for Diablo 4, I think it's too early to tell. I got to be honest with you. I need to see who the new president is. Now, two big positions in Diablo 4 are no longer there. Well, Activision Blizzard King, which ultimately runs has control of the steering wheel for Diablo 4. So two of them are gone. We'll see who the new president is. I think that will also be a telling sign, but only time will tell. And I think it's too early to dive into that. The fact is, as the video that on my last video, the fact is Diablo 4 is spiraling out of control. You can call it what you may. There are still people that are enjoying the game. Absolutely. And God bless them. And I don't blame them. If you enjoy the game, you enjoy the game. But no one can debate that the majority of the population, the majority of the player base is over and done with Diablo 4. They're not happy. And that I'm not going to get into. Watch my previous video. It goes into all the detail there. They're not happy. Season 3 will definitely be known as a bust. And that's 2 out of 3 seasons that Diablo 4 has had that have been ultimate failures. So this ship is heading towards the iceberg, and someone needs to grab that boat and steer it away from the path of the iceberg, because it's getting closer and closer to that iceberg. And for whatever reason, they're continuing down the same course that's leading to the iceberg, in my opinion. So something needs to happen here, a different mindset. I'm not saying different people. I'm saying the mindset needs to change. And whoever is making these decisions of continuing down this path of no creativity, no fixing of the game, no fun in the game, that person needs to change their mind and say, enough's enough. We got to listen to our fan base, and they got to address the big ticket items in the game, like I've said in previous videos. So this is really where Diablo 4 is going to come at a crossroads, and we're going to find out real quick. To me, and we say this every season now, but after successfully failing on 2 of 3 seasons, season 4 has to be a W. It has to be not a home run. It has to be a grand slam. Season 4 has to be a grand slam. Season 4, as we know, as of today, is the season of itemization. And if I was at Activision Blizzard King right now, I would definitely be saying, guys, we wanted to hit a home run with itemization with season 4. After what we've just learned and are seeing in season 3, guys, let's get back to the drawing board. We need to not only hit a home run, we need to hit a grand slam. And I would throw everything in the kitchen sink on improving Diablo 4 and itemization in season 4. This is a critical 3 months for Diablo 4. That's the way I see it. That's the way I'm going to call it. Believe me, nothing would make me more happier than to see Diablo 4 fixed and everyone getting back on and enjoying this game. The game deserves it. The employees of this company deserve it. We all are rooting for them. Well, let me take that back. I would think the majority of the player base is rooting for them. I know there are a small percentage that just hate the company, hate the game. It doesn't matter what they do. They're always going to hate on it, and they're going to troll everybody online that says anything otherwise. And I see it firsthand on my videos. But I would think the majority of the player base want to see this game succeed. And we all want to see Activision Blizzard King get back to the days of when they made good games. So that's where I stand as of right now. But we'll talk more about that later on, because I'm sure this is an evolving and moving target. This story is ever evolving, and I'm here to cover it. Don't worry. But today I wanted to do this video, number one, just to announce what was going on. But most importantly, to all the people that were impacted by this, please, if you're in the gaming industry, reach out to them. I'm sure a lot of them are all over social media because of the nature of their position. As gamers, we all like to use social media as a way of communicating, and actually just it's just natural in today's world. Social media plays a big part in all of our lives. So I'm sure if you're in the gaming industry, you probably already know most of them. Reach out to them, give them a job if you're in that position, and get these people that are talented on your team. I'm sure to serve you well. Anyway, oops, that'll do it for me, everybody. And unfortunately, this is bad news, but we got to report what we got to report. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, thanks for watching. The opinions expressed in this video are mine and solely mine. Healthy debate is always encouraged. Hate is never welcomed. So get over it.